Welcome to chapter 8, which is all about circles. Everything you ever wanted to know about circles, for the most part. Okay, so in a nutshell, before we even get into 8.1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, we just need to kind of dissect a circle. So there's a few things that you need to be aware of. So now we're going to look at this diagram. It's a really good representation, I think. So first thing we're going to look at is this thing called diameter. Now diameter, let me just get a different color. Diameter is the distance straight across, just like this arrow shows, straight across a circle right through the middle. So it basically cuts that circle completely in half. So that the diameter will always run right through the center of the circle, right through. And if it's doing that, then it actually cuts the circle right straight in half. Okay, so that's diameter. And yeah, that's all I need to go over right now. So that's diameter. Now radius is an interesting little ditty. And this, I don't think any of this is too terribly new, but radius is basically from the middle of the circle to any edge. Okay. Now what this diagram doesn't really show you is that radius is actually half of the diameter. So if I were to draw it in a different spot, I would draw it kind of over top of what we have for diameter, except just one side. So that would be your radius. Okay. So radius is basically half of the diameter, or diameter is twice the radius. But radius can be anywhere. As long as it goes from the center, it's anywhere. All these lines I'm drawing right now represent the radius. Okay. All right. Ooh. Never know which setting I'm on. Okay, and then the other one we're going to look at is the distance all the way around the perimeter. So it's shown by these arrows right here. So it goes from one point, goes all the way around the circle, all the way back to this beginning. So it's this outside edge, right? It's this outside edge of a circle. So you think of a tire on a bike, the tread all the way around that tire, that is the circumference. You look at the lid of a container, the outside edge of that lid is the diameter. You look at anything that's circular, and that the distance around the edge of that circle is circumference. Did I say diameter? I meant circumference. Okay, so those are your three major things about a circle that you need to be aware of and remember throughout this unit. I'm going to go right here. So here's some definitions. Basically, what I've just gone over. Now, the one thing, did I do it down here? No. So the one thing I do want to point out, though, is the abbreviations. So for circumference, that variable is a capital C, an uppercase C. For diameter, it's a lowercase d, and for radius, it's a lowercase r. So that's actually fairly important to remember in the world of math and science, what abbreviation is what. Now, I have a question for you. I kind of already answered it. I snuck the answer out, but it says, what is the relationship between radius and diameter? What is the relationship between radius and diameter? Just kind of go back to this diagram. Give you a second. What is the relationship between radius and diameter? Okay, so you probably got it. Radius is half of the diameter. So remember, radius could be right there. And you'd also have another radius on the other side. So 2 radii make up a diameter. Or you could take your diameter, and diameter is twice what the radius is. So they're very, very connected. If someone gives you radius, you can figure out diameter. If someone gives you diameter, you can figure out radius. Okay. Now, we also have to introduce another idea, and that is pi. I'm actually going to erase this first, though. Oh, no, it's not erasing. Okay, that's okay. Why isn't it? Anyways, pi. Now, you've probably heard of this value of pi and this little funny symbol here. It's kind of a funny one. People write them in different ways. Sometimes they have a little squiggly top. It doesn't really matter. It's all pi. I write mine a little different too. But that little symbol represents pi, not the pie you eat, obviously, but it's an actual value. And look at the definition here. It says this value is always 3.14. Actually goes well beyond 3.14. But this is what it represents. This is what you kind of have to conceptualize, and we'll look at it a few times as we go through. It represents the number of times the diameter can fit into the circumference. You might be thinking, what the heck is he talking about? And sorry, it's already labeled on this diagram. I wanted to do it with you. But so here's the diameter, straight across the circle, right? All the way across. If we took that diameter, the length of that diameter, and we wrapped it around this circle, we could wrap it around 1, take another diameter, would wrap around completely. There's 2, and take another one and wrap it around completely. That's 3, and there'd be a little bit left over, a portion of 1. In fact, that's 0.14 of 1, 14/100ths of 1. Okay, so a little bit. So it doesn't matter how big or small the circle is. If you take the diameter of that circle, that distance, you can wrap it around that circle 1, 2, 3 whole times with a little bit left over to make up our 14/100ths. Okay, so that is what pi is. That's a lot to take in. But like I said, we're going to come back to it numerous times before we're done this chapter. Okay. This, we're going to come back to it another time. We don't need to do it right now because I haven't even shown you the formula. But right here, I want to give you a little spiel on figuring out diameter and radius just based on some information. So take a look at these. There's 4 little questions. I want you to pause the video and run through these. See if you can answer these. Okay, here we go with the answers. So if the radius is 12 centimeters, so just if you need a visual, the radius is 12 centimeters. What is the diameter? Okay, well, radius is half of the diameter. So that means we have another one over here, which is also 12, and together they make up the diameter. So the diameter is 24 centimeters. Okay, if the diameter is 14 centimeters, what's the radius? So here's another circle. We have a diameter of 14 centimeters. So radius is half of that, right? So we need to cut that baby in half. So we're going to cut it right in half, right there. So half of that, just this portion, is 7 centimeters, you bet. Okay, so take a look at this one. Which circle is bigger? A circle A that has a radius of 6 centimeters, or circle B that has a diameter of 10 centimeters. So what you may want to do is convert them both to either radius or diameter, right? Then you can actually see. So I'm going to look at circle A. And if it's got a radius of 6 centimeters, then I know its diameter is going to be 12. That's correct. And circle B has a diameter of 10 centimeters, only 10. So that means circle A is the larger circle. Okay. All right, now a tricky one. And I actually don't expect you to get this, but let's see how you do. If the circumference, that means this distance all the way around here, that distance is 21.98 centimeters. What is the diameter? Okay, what is the diameter? Okay, remember that diameter could go around. That diameter could go around the circumference 1, 2, 3, and a little bit times, right? So if we want to know the diameter, we're going to take this number and we're going to divide it by 3.14, and we will get our diameter, which is, oh, I don't even know. 3.14. 3 goes another 7. I think it's just 7. Let me get my calculator. Do I have a calculator right here? Any calculators? No? I think it's about 7. I'm not going to waste your time. I think it's 7 though. 7, 78. Oh yeah, totally. Equals 7. 7 centimeters. Okay. there you go. That's it. Little intro on chapter 8, circles.